Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the No Field Podcast. We have a very special guest back with us again today, Andy Thomas.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Andy's bringing some good topics for us today.
Yeah, we got a little debate here at the end.
Yeah, I love that. That's right up your alley, though.
it is.
Yeah.
Anytime at the cages, Andy and Wally have been getting together behind the scenes to fuel up for something. More often than not, it's directed at me, so mentally getting prepared for that.
Good.
Yeah.
You're gonna need it.
It's like, did you bring the brooms or?
I did for this week.
Yeah, we forgot to get them in here, though,
Yeah.
because Texas got swept.
You know, it was necessary for where we want to be headed as a team. To get humbled.
You're headed in the right direction,
Get
no doubt,
humbled.
for sure.
Just get humbled for a quick weekend, and we're back at it this weekend
Yeah.
against Florida.
2 and barbecue. It's good.
No worries.
All right, Andy, what do you got for us?
Are we getting into it?
We're getting into it. Let's go.
You want to hear it?
I want to hear it. I need it.
That was lightweight, by the way. Before we get going, that was lightweight.
I know.
I
didn't want to.
expected more.
I didn't want to bury him too early
Well,
because then he's going to be checked out for the rest of the episode.
A&M goes into Arkansas, takes 2 out of 3.
Right.
Big brother Texas goes in there and becomes little brother, and we're gonna have to live with that. You know what I mean? Like Texas fans have to live with that.
There has to be some accountability where you look in the
Yeah.
mirror and go, maybe we're not as good as A&M.
Yeah, because as a Baylor fan, we're like not even on the family tree. We're so far down right now.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
That's
just,
okay, though.
Yeah, we're all right. And we know that. You know, it's not like we have a huge reputation to uphold
Right.
like a Texas fan. You know,
Right.
that's a big burden for them.
No doubt.
And they go into Arkansas and get absolutely whomped.
No doubt.
So,
We are clear, right? Just so we're all on the same page here. Like they did play earlier in the year, and
Yeah.
it was clean sweep. Like we're on the.
yeah.
Yeah, listen, man. When they played Arkansas, it got loud. It was loud.
But you're making this about A&M.
It's going to be a good test for your guys' regional loss. That's what it's going to be a good test for.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
can, you know,
The
pressure's
concession
gonna be on.
stand
Smell.
woman, she wanted to grab a bat. The bat boy was trying to grab a bat. I mean, everybody wanted to hit that day against Texas.
Like me on MLB last night,
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
2 nights ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Trev goes up 10 in the second or something like that, whatever.
No,
Yeah.
it was 6 in the first and 4 in the fourth.
But it's good. It's good, though, Coach. You wear it on your sleeve. You guys got beat.
Yeah.
Tough weekend. And you move on.
And it wouldn't be any fun if there wasn't any ups and downs.
Correct. You
know
can't
what
just
I
have an
mean?
all-good
You
season.
can't skate by. Look what happened to Tennessee that year when they skated
Yeah.
through the entire
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Good
doubt.
point.
What happened to
Yeah.
him last year?
Good
For
point.
sure.
They had a
For
little bit more
sure.
adversity last year, and they did it. They
Yep.
did the thing.
They were definitely
Hey,
better than
I
every
like
team.
your point there.
Right?
I like
you
that.
gotta have some struggle.
Best
like
team
that.
in the country for the entire year. They no doubt.
You take everything personal when it comes to the Vols and Tony Vitello, man. You
That's
take
awesome.
Everything.
I like
That's
Tony V.
awesome, man.
I like
How could
Tony
you
V.
not? As a baseball fan, how could you not?
Hey,
No,
he
he's
gets me
awesome.
fired up.
Are we going to get into this little debate?
Let's go.
You
Yeah,
want to throw it?
Let's
Let's
lay off
go.
a Trev for
All
a
right,
second.
so 3/4 of us know what this is going to be about.
Okay. Oh.
That's 75%, just in case you didn't.
Yeah. Listen, so the other day I was thinking.
I was just making
the numbers 70. Yeah. Okay, so the other day, I think it was yesterday, I come in and I'm like, hey, what are your guys' thoughts on belts on a uniform? Right? Why? Why is there a belt? Let's start there.
Then this is just from personal experience, from a human being that goes straight from legs to back
Sure. Sure.
with no.
No derriere.
I got no cheeks.
You got no butt
No
cheeks.
thumb. Okay.
Yeah. From my perspective, it was very necessary
Get
because
that cartoon butt.
I hear you. I hear you.
Precisely. I mean, pants would be on the ground.
So listen to this, right? So most new athletic pants are elastic, kind of form-fitting. Nobody wears them really that baggy anymore, even guys that wear the pants up. So I came in and I was like, because in spring training, I had a good pair of pants that fit really well. And my belt, when I had a leather belt, it was either one notch too big or one notch too tight.
Okay.
And so when I took the belt off, my uniform fit perfectly. And when the belt got on, it was either loose and dangling where I felt it all the time, or it was too tight to where I felt kind of compressed. So I had to go to an elastic belt. And I don't love elastic belts. And so I pitched in the office yesterday. what about just taking the belt off the uniform? What would it look like? I know softball's tried it. I know like men's leagues and other, like, I know Mexico, some Mexican teams don't use belts. Some of the Korean teams use it, the Japanese teams use it, but like, what are our thoughts on just taking out the belt from the uniform? I think the traditionalists are going to say, no way, the belt's part of the look. You got to get it right, clean, when it pops right with a different color. I'm here to say I might be interested in taking the belt off the uniform. What's your thoughts?
There's still that split. Like, part of me is former big back, right? Pants sagging.
Right. Yeah.
It's brutal. I need it.
Yeah.
But then part of me is with you that if we have if we have the proper elastic, we could do without it. But also, if we're going to go that route, it goes without being said, you can't have the belt loops on the pants.
Correct. Yeah.
So
I'd be
gotta have the
curious.
special pants.
I'd be curious to see what it would look like, how the jersey would stay tucked in. You know, if the elastic around the waist wasn't quite right, is that jersey pulling out? If you slide, is there an issue there? Just a thought. I brought it up the other day. Yeah, you were the only one that didn't know this. So I don't know everybody's.
Andy came in hot when he came in the cages the other day, and I was automatically on the traditional side. I think it's a clean look. I agree. I hate untucked uniforms. It drives me nuts. So it's one of those things where I'm on the traditional side of things.
Coach?
More.
Yeah, I think so. My mind goes to looking like a professional, you know. So if you go to a job interview or you know you're going out and maybe dancing or something with your wife, something like that, you know, if your shirt's tucked in, you always have a belt on.
Yep.
You know, so my idea is if you're going to be a professional, the belt kind of fits into that mold in every aspect of life, not just baseball. So that would be the other side, but I do get what you're saying. Maybe there's a way, if you do have to wear a belt, that you get a belt fitted to you.
Very good point. I could have notched another belt loop on spring training.
You could have had another one.
Easily gone into the club, be like, hey, drill me another hole.
Yeah, you know, you slide, if it's too big, you slide in head first, that belt comes up, now you get stabbed in the belly button.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can't have that.
I think the only other part that's keeping me on the maybe take the belt off is it's been a certain way for so long, so that's what it is.
Right.
My other thought there was, what about scrubs? You know, doctors don't wear a belt, and they're a professional. They're in an office where they're doing it. And I know it's not the same, but I'm just, you know, that's my counterpoint to the professionals. Maybe other professions don't wear belts.
Okay.
But I do agree with you. The tucked in look maybe does require a belt. So I'm just spitballing here. Just thinking
I see both sides.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's kind of good with, you know, 75% of this group is we see both sides of every argument. You know, there's the 25%, the one guy who doesn't. He's one-sided all the time.
Yeah.
But I do understand where you're coming from when it comes to that.
My other point too is I've been noticing a lot of people wearing different colored belts. So like, for example, the Padres, right? They're brown and gold. Some guys are wearing the traditional brown belt where it's not as loud, and some of the guys are wearing the yellow belt. Mm-hmm. And then I know like Adolis Garcia, right? He's wearing kind of the highlighter colors to pop with the Rangers uniform. Is that a manager thing? Is that an organization standard? Like guys here, if instead they don't wear blue or black, what if they put an orange belt? Would that look bad? You know what I'm saying? So like, that's where I'm at. Like, well, what about just taking the belt off? I don't know. Just thinking.
So I'll tell you this, with the highlighter colors, just being out there on the weekends right now, coaching in youth baseball, select baseball, travel baseball, whatever you want to call it, the colors pink and baby blue are everywhere. Everybody has a pink and baby blue glove. Everybody has, I mean, you'll see a green and yellow team, and the shortstop has a pink arm sleeve and a baby blue arm sleeve.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, where you talking about the highlight colors? Like, what happened? Why are those the two colors right now? You know, not to get off topic, but that just brought up something, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, I think it's the City Connect stuff.
Yeah.
I think
the
Miami, City Connect, the Padres went to a white, turquoise and pink and yellow jersey type thing. I think it's that City Connect. Everybody, you know, and everybody's tapping into it, right? It's something that's new that you can go get.
It's terrible.
It is.
You're not a fan.
I'm not a fan. So if the colors are that, I'm good with that.
If the colors are like San Diego City Connect, I love it.
Yes.
It looks okay.
100%.
I think the other thing too is certain companies in the batting glove game have marketed this, right?
Yeah.
Franklin for years has been traditional black, traditional whatever the colors are, but there's these new disruptors like a Bruce Bolt or some of these other new companies that are like, hey, let's see what these younger kids, what we can market, maybe get the brighter colors to pop, and they go, oh, this is kind of swag.
Yeah.
Get in the
Let's-
game when you can.
Yeah.
The Whataburger gloves.
Yeah,
I see a lot of guys wearing
exactly.
those
Right, and yeah, if your colors are red and black and you're wearing Whataburger, those don't match at all.
at all.
But they like it because they're in Texas and they can see that familiar logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you say what that can't? I want to get the company name right. Absolutely Ridiculous. I believe Jazz Chisholm is with them. You're more plugged into the scene. Would you say they kind of opened the floodgates with kind of the Bruce Bolt type thing you're saying as far as the bright colors?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
sprinkles.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
Oh my
it's
gosh.
almost right now like who can make the craziest combo.
and that's what
Yep.
will sell.
Well, like Marcus Stroman's company,
Yeah.
Shugo, SHUGO.
Yeah.
They have like these very different looking operation, but he's kind of got that swag. He's got the tattoos. He's
Yeah.
got the tight fitting uniform.
Yeah.
So it's like the new school kind of operation. It's the same thing with the high pants above the knee. We were talking about that.
Oh my
I
God.
feel like we're going to back in the 90s. If you look at the styles back in the 90s,
Right.
I feel like that's coming back.
Yeah, the
Everything's
steroid era,
tight,
they were
yeah.
tightening it
Everything's
up.
tight.
Ken, Kevin, Eddie.
Yeah, everything's got to be tapered right.
Yeah.
You know, you got like this much sock showing
Yeah.
now, and it's all tight.
Yep.
Like,
the
it's
like tweener look.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. There's no more times of like the Brandon Crawford uniform to where like the pants are underneath the cleat and he's wearing like a high top.
Yes.
It was in the 2010s. That was in.
In 2010s, I remember your pants had to be underneath your spike. And
Under the spike.
Oh man.
And now organizations
It was-
in spring training, it was, hey, that spike better, your pant better not be over the spike because you're going to ruin the pant.
With the Southland pants.
Yep. And it's baggy. It looks like Steve Harvey
Yes.
pants. You know what I mean? So it's a
That's-
totally different look.
That's what I grew up in high school.
Absolutely.
Was the baggy?
And
Like
I-
you had to be underneath your cleat,
yeah.
just right there. Your two little spots.
What
right
are
on
you?
your cleat.
What are
Fit
your?
like a glove.
Yep.
What are your guys' thoughts on the pant length? Are we down fans? Are we up fans? Are we stirrup
Bird
socks?
legs come down.
I my whole thing is I don't care as long as you don't have tights showing.
Okay.
Like a knicker look, but you have tights in between your pant and your sock. I don't like that.
What if the tight is the same color as the sock?
Still don't like it.
You don't like it?
I like it where it goes, you know, your knickers go over to your sock.
Okay,
That's what I like.
Coach.
Yeah, I'm out on the above knee personal preference. I mean, there's a reason you've never seen my legs, Andy.
Yep.
I'm a bird leg guy. I'll
Pants
wear
down.
them. Pants down.
Pants down
Every
for
day of
you.
the week.
Damn.
Yeah. I like
Hey,
it, Coach. You're
You
genuine.
got to have sunglasses on
I'm in.
when
On,
he's.
I'm in on that.
Transparency, man.
I love that.
Hey, we're at Lovejoy High School last summer, and he is dying in the. We had a doubleheader. He's dying in the dugout. He had to pull his legs up, and all the guys were like, "Coach, we got to pull his legs up."
That's 130
He's
degrees.
130 degrees. He's like, I can't take it anymore. I had to pull him up.
That's awesome.
No circulation.
The only argument I've heard for the pants above the knees that actually makes sense is some kind of knee injury, some kind of
Mhm.
cutoff of circulation. I'm not saying it's right. I've worn it above the knee a couple times. I hate to admit this, but it feels great. It's not the right look. It looks like more like a softball uniform,
Mhm.
but when you have 120 games a year and you need a little bit more circulation in the legs, and if that knicker goes right over the knee and I have to catch with that and it builds up behind that back of the knee, that's the only time I see it. But someone made a good point here today. Just wear your pants down then.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Don't let it build up back there with the highest pants. So
Yeah.
I understand it. I think it takes a certain guy to wear that pant too. If you get a slow, dumpy guy wearing pants up above the knee, it's not a good look. If you got your burner who's your leadoff and he's going to get on base 60% of the time, that's a different operation. Let the guy cook, I think. But I don't know. I think it goes back to that traditional versus non-traditional thought process on the
It
game.
is.
What about this? I've seen teams where they have the belt on, but it's a white belt, white pants.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I don't like that.
I think I'm out.
I think I'm out on that.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's
I'd have to.
I got
I'm
some-
trying to picture it.
I
but
got
see
some
it.
input here.
okay.
So when we were in high school, we were doing our state championship run. We got to playoffs. We had two different color uniforms. We had all white with the black belt. We were black, green, and white. And then we had an all anthracite, which is that dark gray, a little bit lighter than this, where it was kind of black on black, looked like kind of like the Vanderbilt. And when we got to playoffs, we were doing different combos. We were doing anthracite with white, where we had to go pants up with white sanitaries. And we wore one game where we went all white, and it actually didn't look bad.
Really?
Yeah, we all went out to Dick's Sporting Goods and got white belts, and we went high white socks, white high pants, white belt, white jersey, white hat. One time we did it. One time we won the game. We moved on, and then our coach was like, "Hey, I'm not a fan of that," and all of us were like, "We loved it." But I think if you win in it, it's kind of any jersey will play.
Oh, there's no doubt.
So, I would say overall, I'm not a fan of the white belt. Definitely not a fan.
Yeah, I do like the all white look though.
I don't hate that idea.
Especially if it's clean. If you could get a uniform that's clean with it, I think there's room to play there.
I love it.
I think there's room to play there.
There's nothing better than a dirty uniform too. I love that.
Yeah. Base stealer.
Oh,
Yeah. Grass stains.
that's the thing about the turf fields too. That kind of takes that aspect
Yeah.
out of it. That
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. All right. So talking about traditional, I want to kind of get into this. This is kind of off the cuff. Manfred is changing stuff in baseball. Okay. He's coming up with different things and all that stuff. What do you think about the golden batter rule?
I'll speak last year. I don't know much about it. For people who are listening that don't know, Rob Manfred is commissioner of MLB baseball, and he's very new school. He's trying to make a lot of different changes happen. Like for example, the pickoff rule. Right, there's only 2 pickoffs allowed in the minor leagues right now, and he's trying to test it out in the minor leagues and do a bunch of crazy stuff. Shifting is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Challenge system, ABS, automatic balls and strike system. So that's good. But talk more about that golden ball rule.
So the golden batter rule is basically at any point in the game, and I believe it's in the 7th inning or later, is what they're saying. You even if like Ohtani, we'll just say Ohtani, one of the best hitters in the MLB, say he strikes out with bases loaded with 1 out and it goes to 2 outs, they can pull the golden batter rule and bring Ohtani right back up.
no.
Or if it's your worst hitter up, you could literally bring Ohtani back out.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Guy hits a double,
Yeah.
get him back at the plate with a pinch runner.
Yep. It's rough.
I don't know. I think we're bordering banana ball there.
I
we're
believe
starting
that's exactly what I was going to go to.
which is great in itself, right? You got banana ball, and then there's baseball.
It's a freaking circus.
And there's here's a good example I think for that. It's Southern California Mexican food versus Tex-Mex. Now I'm dealing with 3 Texans here, so I might be outnumbered on the 75% rule, Coach.
Yeah. See how it feels.
But if you go to Mexico, let's say the West Side traditional, like authentic Mexican food, you're not going to get a ton of queso. You're going to get shredded cheese
with
shredded
dark sauces.
Right, with dark sauces, corn more than flour, all sorts of that. So I think this is kind of where we're at here. I think there's a personal preference for it. I'm not a fan of the golden batter rule.
I'm not either.
I'm
I'm out too.
I'm out.
But to go back to your banana ball, regular baseball, there's an avenue, that somebody's taking and tapping into.
And they get fans.
Oh my gosh,
And
they're sold out everywhere
the
now.
place, yeah.
The biggest part about it is as long as it doesn't come over, which I feel like that's
Stay in your lane.
That's what's happening.
stay in your lane type thing. And I feel like that's where Manfred's going. He's seeing how much that's tapping into it, and he's trying to figure out what he can do. Right.
I got one other thing on this topic too. What are you guys' thoughts? 2 things college baseball. The extra base. Maybe we've talked about this.
We touched base a little
Yeah, I
bit
think
on
we
it.
have.
And the celebration. Right? Because we're seeing now over and over, weekend after weekend, guys getting ejected for celebrating too much. Obviously, they've been warned. I understand that. But what are your takes on those 2 things?
So I'll tell you this. I personally, I'm a traditional guy. I don't like the extra base. I don't care if the first baseman gets ran over.
Yeah.
Get in a better position.
Yeah.
And the other thing I don't like is it takes the play behind the bag out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
So guy makes a high throw. If the first baseman has to take that step back to catch it on the backside of the bag, he can't do
He's
that
got to
anymore.
be perfect with his feet.
It's got to be a great throw. And I don't like anything that's going to change necessarily the beautiful game. I don't like it. You're taking things that they have learned and the fundamentals of the game out of it, and now they can only stay on this side and use those fundamentals. You're not using these fundamentals. As far as the ejections go, though, I'm completely out. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Some of these guys getting ejected. I saw a guy the other day. He hits a homer to tie the game. Big moment. And I'm not a huge bat flip guy. I'm going to act like you done it guy. But here's the deal. Big moment. Guy stands there. Not even a big bat flip. Just kind of flips it off to the side. Ejected.
Yeah, was that in that Virginia Tech
Why?
game?
That was it.
Yeah,
Like, why?
yeah, that's the one. That's kind of the one I was referring to. I don't know. And obviously, they've written policy that states that the umpires are cracking down on it.
Yep.
In fairness, though, they were warned.
Right.
Early
Yeah,
in the
they
game,
were.
Guy
They
hits
were.
an absolute mammo and pimps it like crazy.
Yeah.
So they both benches were warned, and I don't know. I'm all for it.
I
You
love
watch a
it.
Mexican League game, and it is a party when a home run is hit.
Yeah.
The whole team is almost circling the bases.
Yeah.
You know, the fans are going crazy. There's fireworks. I don't know. If we want more engagement with the game, that's what fans want to see.
No doubt.
And of course, there's a line, right?
Yeah.
Just as he pimps it, the other team has the right to do whatever they need to do next.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
I
right.
think that's part of the
That's
game.
how-
That's what they
always
take
been.
out of the game.
I don't like that.
But my thing is too is like especially for 18 to 22-year-old kids, baseball ends right at college for a lot of those
Yeah.
guys. A walk-off homer like Jared Jones, don't get me wrong, Jared Jones is going to play a long time, the LSU cat.
Yeah.
But he hits the walk-off homer, he bat flips, and you can tell he's taking in the moment.
It was awesome.
And the umpire makes it
Interjects.
about him
Yep.
and interjects. You didn't ruin the moment, but you've ruined what the moment could have been for him taking it in that sense and enjoying the moment. It wasn't disrespectful, but it
Yeah.
just felt like the umpire had to be involved
Yeah,
in it.
well,
And a walk-off homer.
He blasted a ball in an extra inning game to win in a big time moment.
Versus a really good club.
Yes.
Versus a really good club, man.
Which I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the biggest showman type coaches is in the other
I
dugout.
agree. And I'm sure if Tony
Which is your
Vitello
boy.
had this moment, he would say, that guy deserves to pimp that. home."
Yes, and that's
Absolutely.
he
Yeah.
did. He had an
So-
interview later on, and he said, "What do you?" The interview reporter asked, "What do you think about him?" He's like, "That's his moment.
Yeah.
Let him have it." That's exactly what he said. That was exactly what he said about it.
And I agree, though, with the opposite side. If it gets out of control,
Yes.
the umpire's discretion needs to keep
Yes.
it under control. But I just don't see that being an issue.
You don't.
Feel.
The other team is only going to say, okay, my at bat means more now. Now I need to do what that cat did. Like you're
Mhm.
talking. Like I don't know.
And-
To get back real quick to the base thing, what about just making the base bigger?
That's
Instead of
what
the
you
two
need to do.
bases?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you
That's
want
how you
safety,
fix
look
it.
at what the minor leagues have done. The
Yep.
pillows used to be, I don't know, 14 inches. Now they're what, 18 to 20.
Yeah.
And now more people steal bases.
Mhm.
Good for ratings. More people get hits because the base is a little bit. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of different.
You
things.
making the bag. Just
Two
say you
bags
put
is
it at
weird.
20. Put it at 20 inches, right?
Sure.
I think right now it's what 14.
Mm-hmm.
So put it at 20 inches. It does not change the game.
No.
As in, like, you're not making it to where it's like you're going to get an advantage. Yeah, running from first to second might be just a tad bit quicker.
Yep.
But at the same time, like, you can adjust to that. You can figure that out, right?
For sure.
But just making it bigger is not. It's going to help with the contact. The first baseman's a little further away. You're good, right?
Well, and it's like the play earlier this week. Josh Smith, who's the utility player for the Texas Rangers, he's playing first base. Probably not a first baseman, you know what I mean? But unbelievable athlete, can kind of play all over the field. He's playing first base. Ball's thrown to him from across the field, and he gets blown up from the base runner running down the line. And everybody's like, oh, my gosh, that's the reason we need it. That's the reason we need the extra base. He's in the middle of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's why we need it.
It seems to me like it's a band-aid for a bigger
Yes.
issue.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I mean?
How about fix the first baseman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Teach him properly. Obviously, he's a great player. Everyone's going to make mistakes getting into the baseline, and they're
Of
going to pay the
course.
price for that.
Of course.
But I don't think the fix is to make another base.
Yeah.
That's not the fix. The fix is if you don't like it, get out of the way.
And it doesn't
I don't know. It
fix
seems very simple to me.
it doesn't fix the throw up the line where there's
Thank
still a
you.
collision,
Thank you.
Yes.
Correct.
which you're going to see that 55% probably more than that play at the back.
Yes.
Some may argue 75% more.
75.
Because you think you have that freedom when in reality you don't. That
You don't.
base runner's path is still the exact same, give or take one step to the right. That's not going to eliminate that play.
Correct.
That's kind of where I've been waiting to get at it. Is we were at a practice the other day. We were kind of talking about the throw up the line with my first baseman. And I'm like, hey, fielders, we can't get our guy killed over here.
You have a certain side of the field that you miss on.
Yes,
Mhm.
precisely.
It-
I said we can't get him killed here, and they brought up the point. Well, coach, they got the extra base in MLB now, and I was like, No.
Yeah.
You're setting him up for failure. That's whether it's intentional or not. And we were raised in the old school way that leaving him up the line is being a bad teammate.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's part of the game that is
And
getting
two,
eliminated.
I think the other thing here that's not taught as much anymore is where to run as a base runner.
Yeah.
If you run on the inside part of the lane, your chances of hitting him go up. Right? So we teach our guys either middle to middle, outside part of the base, right? The furthest part away from where that guy's foot is. Nobody wants injury.
Yep.
There should rarely be collisions. Like you're saying, the collisions will happen on a bad throw, not on a bad base runner.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of.
And I guess the other argument too is like, out of how many balls are thrown to first base without a collision? Are we talking like a 2% of the time there's a collision, a 1% of the time? I would go to say probably more outfielders are hitting the wall trying to make a play than a collision at first base. So do we just take the walls out?
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, it's a Band-Aid for a bigger fix. Right?
Yeah.
Make a good throw, hit the right part of the base.
Yep.
Won't have as many issues.
No doubt.
Now, they're always going to happen. Always going to happen. Just like the plate where they tried to secure the catcher a little bit better.
Right.
They made that rule, and I thought that was a decent fix.
Yeah.
And now collisions have gone down. Great adjustment.
They had warranted statistics and video proof of why we're doing
Buster
it. Like
Posey alone,
That was
literally
so-
Buster
oh
Posey
my
alone,
gosh.
they should have changed the rule, and they did. They made a great adjustment, and now
That was
there's less
so
plays.
bad.
There's less collisions, and the game has evolved too, right? You don't have guys sliding past second base anymore.
No, you don't.
You don't have guys going into home to try and break it up, right? That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's the old school guys might say like, it's just not the same, and I think it's for the better, for the health of the player, right? The same kind of thing how football's doing. Less head injuries. Now I know football's more of a contact sport, but as long as there's safety and there's data to prove why they're making an adjustment, I think it's probably for the better.
Yeah.
But I just don't see this one with the bag. Make the bag bigger.
Yeah.
Are they, like you're saying, 1%, maybe less,
Yeah.
0.5%? I don't get it.
I've heard so many old school guys tell stories about things they used to do, and it has evolved. Like you said, there's so many different things that have changed. I've heard old school guys talk about before, if they're at first base, normally on a dirt field, wasn't turf fields back then, they, scoop down and grab dirt in their hand. And as a double play ball's hit up the middle, as they're sliding in, they throw dirt up in their face.
Yeah. Old school.
Old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like even the play, which is probably still taught too. Left-handed pitcher on the mound, base runner at first base, guy picks. We were taught in high school the bump, right? As you go back in to first base as the base runner, instead of sliding, go in feet up and hit the first baseman. Not intentionally hard,
Yeah.
but go in there so you give him that, right? That, and you kind of like take away his lane to catch the baseball.
Right.
And that, you don't see a whole ton of that anymore.
No.
Right? And it's not illegal. You're running on the inside part of the base and getting back to the bag standing up. It's the same concept as not sliding back at third base on a back pick.
Yeah.
Right? If you're up in the air, it gives that third baseman a harder time to catch the baseball.
That's exactly
Little
right.
things like that, that's still part of the game. So more kids can kind of watch and play that way. I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy for the game.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I think it's healthy to, let a guy get smoked if he pimps a homer.
Yeah.
Guy goes up there, he wants to stare it down. Number one, you should have made a better pitch. Number two, smoke him.
Yeah, and I think to go off that, like, because this is a very, very touchy subject for a lot of people.
Mhm.
It's not the intent to ever go for the head. It's not the intent to ever hurt. It's the intent, I'm going to throw one inside, low at his hip, and that's just old school, right?
That's it.
If you guys are going to do that, there's repercussions for those actions, right?
Mhm.
So if you pimp one and you do that and you showboat to a point where the other team goes, hey, that ain't cool, that's the consequence of maybe pimping it.
That's exactly
And,
right.
and you never have a coach say, hey, go hit that guy. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
But if a pitcher deems that was disrespectful to him and his team and he wants to run one low and inside, I personally don't have an issue with that.
Nope.
As a batter and as a coach and as a catcher, I think that's a big part of the game.
I agree.
But like old guys too, they would all say throwing inside is key,
Yeah.
They used to not wear helmets, and Don Drysdale used to blow people up by the chin.
Yeah.
That's not in our game anymore.
Changes
Mhm.
your approach a little bit.
At 92, now you got guys 102. Now we're in a different ballgame.
Yep.
Now we're in a different ballgame.
Yeah, move some feet.
There's some
Yep.
feet, baby.
I love it.
It's part of the game.
Part of the game.
It's the best part about it. All right, pick them.
Pick 'em.
Pick 'em. Let's get into it. Just for a quick leaderboard update, we got Slike in first at 11-4. I'm tied with Slike at 11-4, and Wally's sitting lonely at the bottom at 8-7.
Yeah. Tough weekend.
Andy's going to join us again here this week. He was sitting at 2-1. We'll go ahead and combine those records with this week.
Okay.
So
Let's do it.
get you in
Yeah,
the mix.
absolutely. We got some good games on the docket.
Absolutely, man. We got Arkansas coming off of the sweep of the best team in the country. They'll be playing LSU. LSU will be at home there. We got Georgia at Alabama.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, me too.
Dang
I'm
good.
excited for that one.
Miami at Virginia, a little ACC action. And then for Sunday Night Baseball, we got the Phils again, this time at Cleveland.
Yeah, we were talking before, making our matchups. Who is it? Wheeler versus Ortiz.
Yes.
Ooh.
Wheeler's 4-1,
3-1.
3-1 with a good ERA, and Ortiz is a little bit worse with above a 5. So
Okay.
I think advantage Phillies there just off the basis of it, but you can never doubt a team for being at home.
Yep.
So
So, Slike, if you want to go ahead and get us kicked off here.
I'm going to go LSU.
Okay.
Then after that, I'm going to go Alabama.
Mm.
And then I'm going to go Miami. And then I'm going to go home team, Guardians.
I like that.
Hey, the home field strategy hasn't led you wrong this far.
No, it hasn't. I've been pretty stern with it. Cubs let me down last week. But that's okay.
As long as they didn't against the Dodgers, we're good.
We're good.
I'm going to take all the away teams.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to take
really?
Arkansas over LSU. They're hot after beating the best team. I think they're going to ramp it up. I like Georgia. Obviously, my family's all,
You just
my wife.
need a place to sleep tonight. Let's
Yeah,
be
no
honest.
doubt. No doubt. No doubt. I got to go home. Yeah, I'm picking Georgia. Can't stand Alabama. I like Miami over Virginia. I think both teams are good. Miami's playing really good as of late. They're not ranked, though, yet, which is kind of shocking.
Which is
So-
weird. We were looking at that. That was
Yeah.
kind of weird.
And then I like Wheeler on the mound. I like both teams. Phillies and Guardians, both good clubs. I like Wheeler a little bit more on the mound.
Love it.
Yep. Give me the away teams, coach.
Got him.
God, I hope I have a good weekend. I need this. All right, I'm going LSU.
Okay.
Taking them at home. Then I'm going to go Alabama. Roll Tide, baby. Love the shortstop. What's his name? Last name Jordan.
Justin LeBron.
Oh, LeBron. That's it. Yeah. Hey, like that guy.
Potential number one prospect in that class.
No doubt. Then I'm going Virginia at home. And then I'm going to take Wheeler and the Phillies.
Okay.
Okay.
All home except for the Phils. Okay. I see you, coach.
I'm going to go ahead and go LSU at the box. It's tough to bet against. Talked about Jared Jones earlier. He's a freaking monster. I'm going to go Georgia on the road at Alabama. I will then take Virginia. Big, I believe his last name's O'Connell.
Mm-hmm.
Big O'Connell guy. Finds a way to make it to Omaha every year, it seems like. And then I'm going to roll with the Phils. My boy Bryce Harper. Can't bet against him. I'm going to roll with them.
Come on, Harp.
Come on, baby.
I like that, coach. We got some good variety of picks there.
This could set us
Am
apart.
I the only one that took Arkansas?
You're the only Arkansas.
Good. Am I the only Miami? No,
No,
I
I
think you
took
took
Miami.
as well. Okay.
Come on, man.
Shout out to Duke Clemson this weekend as well.
Yeah.
Give them some love, man.
Baylor Bears are at home versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's not the best team in the Big 12, but I could see. Come on, sick 'em, baby.
Sick 'em.
Come on, Bears. Let's go. We need a good week, man. We need a good week.
What are they
Push-
looking like?
They're right on the cusp. They're probably going to make the Big 12 tournament. They're really unlikely for NCAA. They need to have a really good showing and potentially win the whole Big 12 tournament to make it to the NCAA.
You going to make a run down there to Arlington?
Oh yeah, when they're here. Oh yeah, I'll be going and watching. I always like to watch them when I can, and now being home for the first time in Big 12 tournament season, I'm going to go watch them for sure. If they make it, hopefully they make it. They need a good showing. They need a good finish of the season. They've been up and down, man. They've put teams away, and then they've done poorly in some weekend series. So they're an average club.
Yeah.
Average club with some good talent. I would say that they're underperforming right now.
Got you.
Yeah, we need a good finish.